Hi there, everyone. Rob here with WesternPacificWeather.com. I'm joined in by Jim Edds and James Reynolds, who went out there to Southern Taiwan on a Friday into Saturday, taking footage of Super Typhoon Usagi as it skirted the southern coast. Now they're back there in Hong Kong. Thank you guys for joining me here today, and definitely appreciate you coming on board to do this interview. First, I want to start off with your trip out there to Southern Taiwan. How was it? I know your footage was pretty incredible. There, James?
Yeah, it was one of these really long slogs. It was quite an ambitious plan we put together to try and get us down to the extreme southern tip as quickly as we could. So that involved like a really tiring 6-hour drive. But yeah, once we were there, the scenes were just absolutely spectacular and very ferocious conditions considering how far the storm was tracking south of Taiwan. But, you know, it was a super typhoon, so they have wide-reaching effects, and we kind of got what we were expecting to see, so to speak.
Yeah, originally we were going to go to Manila and catch a hop to the Batanes because we wanted to get the Cat 4 there. So we had a flight leaving at Friday at 6 a.m., but that was canceled, and we thought there was a big chance it might be, so we didn't even go. So that was a good thing, plus it was going to be a nighttime event, so we wanted to get 2 shots at Usagi. And Taiwan, even though it was a long haul and a long slug driving south, and it'd be a quick turnaround to get back here, we made it happen.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it was a pretty long haul down there. You actually went from Taipei down to southern coast of Taiwan near Kenting, correct?
And yeah, that's it. We chose to fly in deliberately to the north of Taiwan because we knew that area of the flights wouldn't be affected so that we could get out and get back to Hong Kong basically as the storm was moving away.
All right, I'm going to show this footage, actually. You were showing that storm surge, and one of these boats actually sunk here, and it looks like one of these fishermen were on the boat when the storm surge came ashore, and it jumped off, and you guys were right there nearby when this happened. What was going through your heads at this time? And I see you helped out and kind of intervened just a little bit, trying to get this guy back on shore.
Yeah, I saw a wave come in the boat basin, and in like 3 seconds, a boat that was tied up, the lead boat on the backside, it sunk. And I told James, I said, you know, just be careful because they had a boat sink, and it's getting kind of crazy out here. And then they realized these other boats were going to sink too, and one of the guys went out on the boat, and he realized that, hey, I don't really like it out here after all, because you really can't tie up a boat when you're in the hurricane. It's just too much power. He jumped off the boat. I was up filming James. He jumped off the boat, and then the storm surge came in, and then James went down there to, you know, he quit filming. He went down there to help the guy up over the seawall because there was no way he was getting up over the seawall. And if that water hits you, it could drag you back out there, and you get between the boat and the seawall, and it could go south in a hurry. So I reached down there and grabbed the guy's other arm, his shoulder. James had one side, and we lifted that guy out of there.
Yeah, well, what was really interesting is as we were filming this, it really kind of reminded us, and obviously on a slightly smaller scale, of some of the images we saw coming out of the Japan tsunami. Just the nature of the way the water was moving was quite similar to that. You know, just swallowing up these boats and just this big kind of surging dome of water coming into that little harbour. So it was, you know, it was really kind of full on in there. But luckily that guy, he took a few questionable decisions, but he got out of there okay in the end.
And there was a 30-foot seawall, and a lot of the fishermen had put their boats right behind that seawall. A few did not because those spots were taken. Those must have been the prime real estate. But the waves were bending around, and then massive surge. To me, it looked like a little tsunami coming in there. The way in seconds the water just went up very high, moved in very fast, and if you were in it, you were in real trouble.
Definitely very extreme stuff. I hope that people do take the advice from your footage there and take these storms seriously when they come along the coastlines. And that actually brings me to my next topic. We have you guys back in Hong Kong. The storm's bearing down on the Hong Kong, Macau area here today. How are residents gearing up for this storm there in the city at this time?
Well, you know, right now, there's not necessarily a huge amount of panic or anything like that. You know, we do get typhoons coming around this area quite often, but not kind of coming in at this strength, potentially for a direct hit. The Hong Kong Observatory have started issuing the tropical cyclone warning, so we're on standby signal, strong wind signal 3 right now, and we expect signal 8, which is the gale force warning, to come up this afternoon or this evening, and that basically means the whole city is going to shut down public transport, government offices, schools. Not that they'd be open anyway, but if it was a work day, there would be a day off from work. And then really it's just a case of everyone just kind of riding it out at home and staying out of the elements.
All right, guys, definitely know the storm is still pushing out there towards Hong Kong. Where do you plan on positioning yourself out there to try to get the best of the storm footage and document that storm as it does come ashore right there in the metropolitan area?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, we just don't know. This kind of angle is unique, and so somebody with local knowledge, it's tough to find, but we're looking at Google Maps, we're looking at the terrain, we're looking at what's in there, zooming in, and different kind of scenarios, the high tide, the wind direction, where it's going to be at a certain point in the high tide. So it's tough. There's a lot of work involved to pick the right spot.
I think it's really going to be a case of kind of nowcasting the situation, having a look at radar, seeing if there are any particularly strong bands, whereabouts in the city they are, and just really making a decision on the fly and seeing how we get on.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming on here and doing this interview with me. Definitely stay safe out there. I know you two are professionals. You can follow both Jim and James on Twitter, everybody. If you follow Jim at Extreme Storms, James at Typhoon Fury. They also both have their websites, earthuncut.tv and extremestorms.com. Professionals in the field of getting out here and documenting these storms, so I'm sure you're going to be taking all the proper safety precautions. So thank you very much for joining me here, and yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.